Hey, y'all. Good morning, grand rising, good day, good afternoon, good night, maybe even depending on where you are. It is your girl Lati coming back for another intuitive session. Well, come on in and sit for a spell. You know how this thing go. We speak in the spirit and sit in the spirit and convene and see what spirit wants to say to us. And we use any and everything that the spirit would like to use to speak to us. Oh, yes, we do. Because we over here at Tears and Wheat Tarot believe that source is the creator of all things, like that infinite intelligence, the one universal mind, the ultimate one, like the all of that goodness. Yeah, that energy that made us all, made everything in creation. So I believe that everything in creation has an imprint from the source. The infinite intelligence is in that thing since it was made by, right? So we get to see how everything speaks to us and gives us lessons from the Most High, right? So how can we bring all of our pieces together and become a whole collective unit? Yes, first within self, coming whole to self, and then sharing your good wholeness out to others. That way we can all become whole and unified. So, don't know where spirit wants to go. We'll sit back and pray. And yeah, because this is your girl Latif. I mean, we always in the spirit, right? So we commune. But we need to pray so we can really get that connection. And yeah. Thank you so much. I reach out to my highest self, my highest spiritual self, my essence, my true self that knows the way, my true self that is connected, informed by the source of all things, the infinite intelligence. I ask that my true self establish my connection to the infinite intelligence. I thank you so much, intelligence, for being here. I thank you for giving us this opportunity to convene, for us to come and seek, for you to give us the guidance that we need in order for us to continue to grow and move forward in this manifestation. Double mission, yes. How do we grow within self infinite and come together, our fragmented pieces, and become whole for healing? And how do we do that and spread that healing out and wholeness and completeness out into the field for our collective, yes, your sons of source. Absolutely. Thank you. We had looked at this text yesterday, and it kind of took us through two things. It talked about healing, but it also talked about it in the sense of being the healing. And I felt that last night that we probably could have spoken a little bit more on the being of healing, right? And I guess we're still supposed to be right here. So Spirit is calling me back to this space. And yeah, so we'll just jump in and read y'all. And I told y'all, sometimes this could start out thick like that thick white Crisco. You just have to give it a little minute to heat up. You know what I mean? Then when the oil get hot and we get to cooking, you know what I mean? It's a whole different scenario. Just sit with your girl. Sit for a spell. Let this oil get, warmed up. And watch what spirit comes through to do. Yes, it's real. It get to cooking. All right, so we here in this text again, just reading on trauma. Okay, don't get caught up in the title of the book. It's a really good book in terms of thinking about trauma from long-term sustained trauma and hurt. And so if you are a person who's gone through a lifetime of hurt, pain, betrayal, and or afflictions, we'll say it like that, loss, suffering with grief, and not feeling the ability to give that grief over to the source and have that help, receive that help, feel that help in carrying these burdens. Okay, so where are we? Okay, so this author is talking about faith in religion. So, faith and religion. Now, anybody who knows me knows that I'm not a real big religious person, but I'm extremely faithful and spiritual. Like, I see God everywhere, right? In some religions, The way that the religion itself doesn't limit source, but the way that it's taught limits source, right? And it's taught in a way that says that we cannot see God everywhere. Like, I can only see God in one book, and just the way that that book explains it is all there is. But we know that the book that I was reared up on the Christian Bible, King James Version, is the book that I was reared on. That's where I cut my teeth, right? My gums, nothing, baby milk, you know. You cut your teeth, you start biting on something. So I cut my teeth on that book. But what I found as I studied it and stayed so deep in it that it left a lot of questions. I had to go seek other information. And when I kept going back into, is it Proverbs where, yes, you says to seek diligently, yes. So infinite, that wisdom is telling us to seek wisdom diligently in the book of Proverbs. And so for me to be diligent means I'm going to look everywhere. It doesn't mean that I keep looking in the same spot. And to illustrate that, I always go back to the example of like a parent saying, go get my keys off the table, where the keys are maybe on the sofa, like next to the table, right? But whatever it is, they led you to the area to find where that thing is, what you need, the key. But it led you to the area, or maybe they said go look in this room, and you just opened up the door and look, and you didn't really go in the room to look, I guess is a better analogy. Either way, it causes it's like being led to a space, but once you get to that space, you have to do more work, more searching, more digging to really find the key to recovery, right? That is how we get into recovery from the hurt, from the trauma. I mean, because even though we may not feel like, I'm going through trauma, but I know for sure in my community where we suffer loss in such high levels of violence, that is not normal. To be able to normalize grief and trauma in such a way and continue on and go forward is almost like we have a shell, a masking that says that, it's not allowing us to deal with the true grief. We push it aside and we just keep going on. And it's like we don't feel it, but we do. We feel it, and it causes stress. Not only does it cause stress in the community, in our relationships, within ourselves, within our body, disease and anxiety and depression, and it leads us to do other things to bring in happiness and experience joy when we can actually have that happiness and joy from a healthy place, a place that's pushing you to your greatest good, your highest good, and be able to reach back and lend that service onto your field so that you can pull your other wheat with you. Give them source material so that they can grow up good and be nice and strong, because we all call for good bread. So in that way, this book is reminding us that our faith is a really, really big part of that, right? To believe that you are healed, believe that we can come through, believe that we can give the remnants of this grief and trauma over to the source and let it go. Believe that we have the answers to solve a lot of these problems within us. How do we organize, my wheat? How do we come together so that we can be the solution that we're looking for? Right? Of course, we want to put that out there to see, these needs need to be met. And we have the ability to raise those points and do it in a way that leads us to peaceful resolution. We can do that. And faith can show us how. And faith will give us the ability to sustain through this. And we know that we are a faithful nation. Oh, yes, we are. We are not looking to hurt or get retribution or nothing. Most people are upset about fairness. I had my experience the other day over something as simple as being overcharged. But because of who I am, or my aesthetic, you feel like it's okay for you to treat me unfairly, that you wouldn't have to do for me what you would do for any other person that you view yourself as. Marcus wouldn't want to be overcharged $10 for a product that's misappropriately labeled on their counter. He would demand that he's being charged a price that's being shown, what's on the label. That's what's fair. But for some reason, you could look at me and say that I don't deserve the same treatment. You don't see me as yourself. Come on, Marcus. I need you to get your life, your whole life. You know what I mean? So, but instead of me being angry and want to get back at this man, I don't. Only thing I wanted was to be treated fairly. That's it. It's fair. It's justice. It's equitable. And not even just, because equity comes in different, it could look different, just saying. Yeah, y'all gotta. I be getting on my Marcus Garvey when it comes to that, y'all. Look, just saying. Okay? So, Spirit says, there are a vast number of individuals all over the world who may or may not have any working knowledge of the famous theorists that are mentioned in this book. Yet, I would testify that their faith in God is what has helped them. So it ain't about going to know Socrates and Hippocrates and all them, Freud and Jung and Erickson and all these people, Adler, the infinite intelligence designed you with a spirit of counsel. It did. You have a spirit of counsel. And that is a part of your faith if you believe in the counsel that you're getting from your spirit. Oftentimes we end up in situations because we didn't trust the counsel that our self was giving us. Right? We always say that, damn, I should listen to my gut. Yeah, that's your spirit of counsel talking to you. Yeah, when you end up with somebody, you be like, yeah, I don't know. The spirit is saying, don't fuck with him. Let that go. And we don't listen because we think in our whole mind that we can fix some shit, that we can work it through, or we can struggle, love it out. Yeah, that was your spirit of counsel saying, let that go. When your spirit said, don't go over here and don't do that, just hold up. Yeah, don't go down there. Yeah, you went anyway because somebody was saying, come on, girl, come on, dude, come on, bro, let's go. And something popped off. Your spirit of counsel was trying to say, don't go. The next time you get held up in traffic, have patience. Synchronicity may be saving your life. The next time something happens that delays you, have patience. It could save your life. Have faith in the synchronicities that are happening around you. When something pisses you off and pushes you away from a situation, trust that it's leading you away for your own good. The spirit of counsel will guide us around a great many things. But then the spirit of counsel will also help us put to bed the hurt of great many things. Right? Loss, especially through violence, is never anything that's easy to understand. Like, we can get it on a surface level. Oh, so-and-so was messing around with such and such, and then somebody got this way, and then something popped off. Or they was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and somebody came in and did such and such, now we got a loss. Or it could be even this person was doing something that they shouldn't have been doing. They was into something because they had a mindset that said, this is how I get my bread. And now they're caught up in something and there's a loss. All of these things, mostly, all of them, Spirit says, stem from a place of lack, from hurt, from feeling like there is not enough, that you don't have enough, that you don't have what you need or what it takes to get it the right way, or get it the good way, or how I say good, right? Those are categories. How do I say it, Spirit? Because we practicing this thing. Get it in a way that presses you forward. That it's going to be a long-term game. That it can go the distance. That it has some sustainment to it, right? That it has a solid foundation. Is it built on a rock? We talk about that all the time, being grounded and rooted, right? If what you're getting is not rooted, it's not going to last, my weep. We talk about that all the time. Fast bread. All bread ain't good bread. If it come fast, it's going to go fast. It ain't going to last. In this day and age, the ability to be able to get that money and invest it and flip it and turn it into a way that's going to be sustaining for your highest good. All that effort could be placed in a where it's going to give you some good, strong building blocks. Some stuff that's going to go the distance. And our faith and our ability to believe in what we have and what we're made out of, it will take you everywhere. It will get you everything. The abundance that you hustling for, that you trying to rush and get in this way, that's causing us to lose our lives. Your whole rest of your life of potential for a right now gain. Because you think that's the way to do it now. Our decisions now set up the rest of our nows, right? It continues to unfold. But what I'm deciding in this moment is going to be what's seeded. That's the seeds. And it's going to grow and it's going to bear fruit. So are you seeding tares into your life, my wheat? Or are you seeding good bread? Are you making good bread? Is it something that you're going to eat? Is it going to be a wheat germ that you can grind up and make flour to make bread? Or is it going to be a thorn that you can't do shit with? And if you try to eat it, it's going to hurt you. Nobody else can touch it because it's going to hurt them. Come on, let's get back into this thing. So, it says, it's just giving us a reminder here that whatever the objection to of church and state being combined, and I don't agree with church and state and all that stuff, but what she's getting into is faith is a healing agent, and it remains a quintessential paradox for those bastions of science committed to curing human ills. Black Americans, however, have not and have never been deterred from placing a high value on their faith and turning to it for assistance and succor. If we are to become healthy, our deep commitment to God, the source, the logos, our spirituality, and our faith. The text says religion, but Spirit said our faith, our belief. God, spirituality, and our belief, our faith, will be our primary building blocks. Faith is your primary building block. Your belief is your primary building block. Everything comes by belief. We see what we see because of the belief. We pick up the light, we pick up the energy, and we all see the same thing. We believe in the same way. We have a collective consciousness. We all are bound by the same source that made all of creation. Like everything was made by the infinite source. When I say logos, it just means the beginning, the all. That which called all things, which said, let there be light. The intelligence of that source is what made you and me and everything. And that intelligence is in us because that's what we're made from. And it has an imprint. So everything has an imprint. So we can look at everything to get lessons of life. And we can be mindful of that. Spirit says we can be mindful of that. Thank you so much, Holy Spirit. Please cleanse the energy of these cards. The infinite intelligence is here. Make these messages. Use this deck for messages. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And make the messages fresh for this session. Ashe. Yes. Blowing some fresh air on these boys. Yes. Thank you, Spirit. So Spirit says, let's be mindful of our faith and of our belief, right? Oftentimes our belief and unbelief, they exist at the same time. The wheat and the tare exist at the same time. Both rooted in together. We haven't looked. Both rooted in together, right? So at the onset, we believe, but we don't believe. We have faith, but we also have fear, right? So in order to overcome the fear, we dig into the faith. In order to overcome the unbelief, we dig into the belief. Just lean into the opposite. Believe more on the goodness than in the going forward, the growth and expansion forward, than the retraction, the lack, right? The inability. If you believe in the fact that you can expand forward, there's an immense possibility and potential for you to express. But you have to believe in the going forward. You have to believe that the resource is there, the ability is there, that you can pull it out and you can dig into it. Yes, with Spirit. Now y'all know we sitting up here did not look at this card. Believe in the expansion. Believe in being expansive. Believe it, my weed. Believe that. But we have to seek more information. Source says be diligent. To be diligent in seeking and in discovering and uncovering the mysteries of wisdom and intelligence, that requires you to be diligent in looking everywhere. Because everywhere and everything has an imprint of intelligence and wisdom on it. Yes, it does. And you can see how source works, how logos works, how intelligence works. And if you want to reach your highest good and be expansive, my wheat, then you going to have to move like intelligence moves. Yeah. And intelligence sets down roots. When that seed grows, it grows roots down first. Using everything in its environment to grow good, strong roots before it grows up and then have to do that effort to bust through the ground and then grow up more so that it can blossom and fully mature. Then it understands that it has a life cycle. It's going to naturally transition the way that we do. And then it has to also be giving onto the fact that there's other things in the environment that's going to come against it. When bees sit on flower, it comes and takes some of its pollen away. I wonder, how does a flower feel when it loses its pollen? Does it hold on lightly and gift the pollen over to the universe, to the cycle, to the system? Or does it mourn and grieve the loss of its pollen, of its seed? When birds come in and pick the berries off the bush, the berry is the bush's seed. I wonder, how does the bush feel about losing its seed to the bird that just came and stripped it away in such a fashion? Does it have a sense of loss, a sense of longing? I don't know. Some people might look at me and be like, you're crazy. You're thinking about loss in comparison from humans and how we feel to nature. But I believe that nature feels. I believe that everything in creation has a sentiment and awareness. It is aware of how to use the source material, how to grow, how to move through seasons. It does it naturally. The law of least effort. When we're in fall and all the trees are going to lose their leaves that they've graced us with all year. But the trees in their wholeness and beingness know that those leaves go to the ground and they come back. They seed and feed the whole system. We have gotten so good at moving through the loss of our leaves, my wheat, like our seeds that just come and get plucked out before they have the opportunity to grow and mature. I mean, are we good at it, or are we good at just, I don't know. How do we think about that, my wheat? Because yeah, we move on, but we carry it in forms of anger and distrust and depression and anxiety and especially bipolarism, where we have such high days and then such very low days. We have episodes of mania where we don't want to do nothing to being able to wanting to do everything. And when I say mania, I don't mean crazy or insanity. I mean that, like, that high burst of energy. Like, I didn't want to do anything and now I want to do everything. Like, I felt like I had nothing and I couldn't even get out of bed. So now I can conquer the world. And you do that in cycles. That is depression. We carry things around with us that is keeping us from reaching our highest heights and truly understanding who we are as we. And this is for any person that is going through trauma and dealing with grief. This text told us to be the healing. Oh, we got to read this card. Every day I'm learning new things and expanding into my highest potential. Yeah, that's what we talked about. That moving forward, that progression forward, expanding into your highest potential. If we are acting and making decisions that doesn't lean towards a sustained forward expansion, then we are operating in decision making that is really going to give us from a place of lack, and that's going to really result in lack. It's going to pull away from you. If you are operating from a space of belief that you have everything, that you are made of everything, you will seed everything and it will be sustaining. You will go through the natural processes of healing, peeling back the layers, releasing, purging, giving over the trauma and the grief and the suffering to the Most High. We have pain and we experience loss, but we are not called to suffer. Suffering lends to disease and stress and shortens your lifespan. Yeah, well, we know this. This is like, I ain't saying nothing new. Nothing new. It's all old underneath the sun, right? So if we know that this stress causes us this, then what do we do about it? How do we relieve it? We relieve it by, I think, where is it? Is it this one, Spirit? Yes. Okay, Spirit brought me here. This is another, look, I told you, Spirit be all over the place. Improving business processes. For me, I look at every piece of wheat as its own CEO. You a whole business of you. So when my mom used to say when I was a kid, manage your business, I took that shit real literal. Yeah, because I'm a business in my persona, in my perspective. I am a business. I am the CEO of me. Lati is a whole business and I'm the CEO. That's just how I feel about me. Right. So every time I do something, I'm showing up. And if I need to show up, I need to figure out how I'm going to show out. And so I need to look at my processes and always be on an improvement. Improvement in my business process. And it's continuous process improvement. That's what we do on a continuous basis, looking to improve self internally, right? So that I can do good business. I can make good bread, because that's, Spirit says identify processes that need improvement based on internal considerations. Ooh. Are we reading from a business book that's telling you to go inside and do some internal considerations? Yeah. Because the system of the Lord, like them principles of wisdom, businesses use principles of wisdom. How the source created you and those strategies, businesses use that to be successful. So if you mad in your whole wheat business, you might want to pull in some of these business processes and see how you operate your whole wheat self as a whole corporation. All right? Because it starts from the inside. If you building businesses, you got to build your business on the inside before you can push that thing on the outside. And one of those strategies, Source says we need to lean into is identifying internal processes that need improvement based on internal considerations. For example, a problematic process, come on, wheat, is causing unnecessary conflict among the team members in the wheat field. It's causing unnecessary conflict in the wheat field. What is it? Problematic processes are causing unnecessary conflict amongst the wheat, preventing them from concentrating on meeting customers' needs. Now, who is the customer? Who is your customer, wheat? Who gonna be eating your bread at the end of the day? If you making bread, who's coming to get your bread? Who, if you becoming good wheat, who is taking you into the storehouse? Who's your customer? Who's coming to harvest you? The source is, the Father is. So if you are not looking into self internally on those problematic processes that keep the conflict going amongst the wheat and preventing us from becoming good bread, there's no way that we can meet the needs of the source. I can't meet your needs as another piece of the source if I'm not focusing on my internal needs. You know what I mean? I got to do the work internally first. That's why I always say, y'all watch my videos. We've been working at this thing. We've been on this soul journey. Got them cards out too. Thank you, Father. Soul journey for the last 20 years, my wheat. So we can be good bread. How do we work this thing? How do I build this business internally? How do I build myself? How do I get to where I'm trying to go? Oh, yes. And now that we made it, we want to serve it back out. And then we ain't made it. We just learned a little something that we're going to share back out. We've been doing it forever anyway. Anybody come and ask me a question, I'm going to tell you what I know. You can take it leave it for what it is. So again, if you vibe, subscribe. I mean, come and hang out with your girl. We ain't going to do nothing but sit and chop it up anyway, using all kinds of sources and stuff to get us a little bit of way of how to think about some stuff. Challenge your unbelief with some good belief. Yeah, on what the source says it is and how it says it on various different planes, whether it's business, whether it's nature, biology, metaphysics, all of it. What does source say? What does the intelligence say? And how can we see that? Did you look diligently or did you look in one place? I don't know. What is your definition of diligent? We on a soul journey, Spirit says. So let's look at this here card. Get that in there one time so y'all can see that real good. Just let it hang out. Just in case you want to take a little snippet. Really read that real good. Get that back in focus. Come on in here with this color. I know I'm on some, whatever. We growing in our situation. Ain't going to keep making apologies for where I'm at right now. No. We bringing messages. Don't focus on all that. Listen to the message. That's all that matters. Abundance. I am a limitless being. I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. Ashe. Why can you manifest anything in this physical reality? Because you are a whole piece of being a source. You are unlimited potential. You are pure consciousness. If you are pure consciousness, then you could pull anything and everything out of your consciousness into this physical realm. That's why they say everything starts in the spirit. Come on, everything starts in the spirit and you bring it out into the physical. Everything that we got in utility in these came from the spirit. Everything came from the spirit. And if you are a spiritual being having a physical manifested experience in a physical vessel, you can use your spirit to manifest any and every. You are a magician. You are an alchemist. An alchemist. Using all of this source material to create your whole world, that's an alchemist. When you take pain and trauma and hurt and transmute that shit, transmutation, people, take that emotion and transmute it. Turn it, flip it. You angry about the loss, something has been violently ripped away from you, transmute that energy. Transmute that emotion. Use it as fuel and propel yourself forward. Move creation forward. That's what it's for. It is energetic fuel for you to transmute and push creation forward. We are birthing a whole new creation. And it is going to take a lot of fuel and a lot of effort to do that. But we can do it, law of least effort. We have a lot of energy. That trauma, that hurt, every loss is fuel. It's stored up in there, but it's killing us. Because we're combusting on the inside, my we. If we ain't killing each other through violence, we're killing ourselves through stress. If we're not killing ourselves through stress, we're killing ourselves with how we manage stress. Either way, we are killing ourselves, my we. We are not turning into good bread. We are dying and withering out from the inside out. Root rot, my we. We talked about root rot. We got to get strengthened. We got to take that energy that is festering and killing us on the inside and transmute it and propel creation forward. Give rise to your voice, my we. Yeah, you can do that in a way that lends to peaceful, harmonious resolution. We will not give up on that charge because we know that it's still good. It's still good. Prayers don't expire. They don't. So the prayers of our ancestors, they still good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The prayers that you pray right now, they'll be good for generations, for eons. For eons. They never expire. Never. Don't speak against you. Don't say what you can't do. Every word out of your mouth is a manifestation. Every word. Every word. Every word. Every word. Speak life. Speak life over you always. Every time that feeling of unbelief comes up, beat it down with your belief. Yes, I can. Again, that mustard seed of faith. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. There is a way. Every problem has a solution. There is always a way. Let's get this card. Balance. Come on, week. Come on, Spirit. Come on, Spirit. Talk to your week this morning. Balance. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. It's hard as shit to not judge the stuff that comes against us. We do it all the time. That's good, that's bad, that's low vibrational, high vibrational. I do it. I'm working myself out of it. Even to just not judge it in that way and just say that it is. And the hardest thing to say that it is a blatant attack. A blatant, how do I say it, Spirit? I can't even pull the word. But when somebody just comes against you so obvious and so nasty, it's just like in your face, like you can't even understand, like how and why would that happen? Like, and then you sit with source with that like, hey, look, God, are you here or are you not? Because what's happening and why is it happening in this way? Why do we see this, on a continuous basis, feeling like isolated and just left to the wayside, like nobody gives a shit about your condition and what you're going through? Yeah, because for the most part, we know they don't. They don't give two fucks about what we go through. And I'm talking about all the wheat, not just the wheat in my lot. I'm talking about all wheat. If you ain't making the bread and you are, like that in that cream, the 1%, you down here with the commoner with us, like you under making $1 million a second, we all in the same lot. So whether we Italian bread, potato bread, like it's all kind of bread. Go up down the bread aisle. I am not playing. When I say this thing, I use that analogy seriously because the tares and wheat is real. You are called for good bread, to reach your highest good, to edify unto others and edify source is a beautiful analogy. There are tares out here that look just like you. You can't discern until they bear fruit. You need to give them a season so you can use your discernment and see what it is that they sprout and then believe them when you see it. Then the next thing is that we will feed source. We do feed source. As we learn and grow, the infinite intelligence learns and grows. Creation expands. So again, our card to be expansive as through we learn, yeah, that's true. To bring balance to ourselves, yes, and not judge things, like just understand that they just are. And that's a whole thing. Coming to a place where we can look at things like they just are might sound callous, it might sound cold, especially when we're talking about the loss of life. But the bare fact of it is that we cannot change. We can't bring the life back. especially when we know the source has taken that life, is done. It's a ashe to that. No matter what time, whether it was young, early, it's always the time that source says, and it is for something. Even if we can't see it, we don't know. Sometimes the shit is senseless because it feels senseless because it's like there is just absolutely no reason that we can see for this. But to take the energy of it and transmute it and place it and do something with it that presses creation forward, that improves the condition of other wheat, is major. It is major. My family and I went through something that was like almost a year ago. It's in a couple of months it'll be a year. And I was so, I mean, like, when you talking about heated, you talking about soul breaking. Like, I cannot believe you did this. But all while we were going through it, my resonance was no more. No more will we continue to do this. No more will we just let children be hurt and neglected. No more will we have them abandoned. No more will we put ourselves through this type of pain and trauma within families. No more. We have to do something different. Our connectivity matters. Our community matters. And we had a whole thing for a spell, a nice couple of seasons, where we didn't come together unless somebody died. It was like funerals were the new family reunions. How many families are going through that, my week, where y'all don't come together unless somebody died? And it's so many funerals that you see each other all the time. Don't even have time to experience the joy and goodness with each other because you always mourning the loss. And you can't even finish one loss before it's another loss. It's loss after loss after loss after loss. And before you know it, it's like it's just another loss. And then now we're looking at each other and having that feeling like it's just another day. And how many days have we been in that mode of it's just another day? I will argue that it's been generations upon generations upon generations upon generations. That leaves something in your oil, my wheat. So when we say we need an oil change, we need a purge, we need to release, we need to get this stuff out, that there is a way for us to be healing, to be the healing, that we can get there. And then we can change and we can have effect and we can take all of that source energy, all of that fuel and transmute it. Transmutation. And use it. Propel ourselves to a whole nother plane. Bring forth healing and community and restoration. And we have the ability to comfort each other through that work. Last card. Trust. I accept that my inner voice will always bring me, what does it say? Guide me correctly. I couldn't read that last one, y'all. Guide me correctly. But trust I was going to turn around and get it right. Because we ain't going to do it wrong. Alright? And if we do, we're going to come back and correct it. Trust. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. Who's your inner voice? Your inner voice is spirit. We were saying that earlier, didn't we not? That we need to trust that gut that's saying, hey, don't go there. Hey, yeah, they want to go, but fall back. Or maybe tell your peeps to fall back. Because sometimes it be that one that's not really feeling it. It be that one that's saying, that something in your spirit is saying, nah. It be that one. The one. And the one usually don't say it. That one don't say it. They don't open up and say it because it's so many voices that's coming opposing that they don't say what their gut is telling them to say. And then you could be sitting on the other side like, damn, if I had said it, if we hadn't have went, if we had just chilled, then such and such and such and such. How many times we do that? How many times we don't listen to that gut? It could be anything. Spirit is telling you, it's guiding you. You can trust your gut. It's so many things out here that has made us not be able to trust each other and trust ourselves. Thank you, Spirit. Is there anything else? It's an ashe to that. To trust your gut. Community. Have faith. Faith in what is telling you from the kingdom on the inside of you, son of God, son of the source, son of the infinite itself. Is speaking to you. It is talking to you from the kingdom. Can you hear it, my weed? Can you feel it, my weed? You can feel it. There's a rhythm. There's a beating. There's a call. There's a ringing. Y'all feel like when we used to be back, you see them old country shows back in the day where you got the big ass wraparound porch and dinner is done and it's time to come in, and you see them with their little triangle and that bell is ringing, they ringing the triangle. That's what I hear. I hear the triangle ringing. It's saying it's time to come in. 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 Spirit is saying it's time to come in. You feel a ringing, a beating in you. Something is saying it's time to come in. It's people, young folks out here changing, doing things different in families because it's time to come in. You don't know why you're doing it differently. Why are you stepping out from your parents and doing stuff different? Because it's time to come in. Spirit says we have to release some of these layers and conformities. Take off them conformities. Be ye not conformed to this world. You are a spiritual being having a human experience, and you call everything that you need from your spiritual place, knowing that you are limitless. You are abundant. I am a limitless being, and I can manifest whatever I desire. Ooh, we're going to touch on that next time on the next episodes of Tears and Wheat Tarot. We'll look at our intention and desires and see how are we intending? How are we using our intention? How are we using our desires? What's formulating our desires, and what space are we coming from to do that? Yes. So tune in next time as we go into that, yes, with your girl Auntie here on Tears and Wheat Tarot, where we look at what's coming at you so you can see how to move around. Yeah, how to lean into that gut, into your belief, into your faith, knowing that you are limitless. You are a spiritual being made from the infinite intelligence. You are pure consciousness, pure potentiality. You are whole. You are complete. And there is nothing missing, my wheat, nothing. And guess what else? You called for good bread. And that's just the is. So says the am that I am. All right, y'all. So until the next time here, come holla at your girl. Bye, y'all. See y'all later. All right. Ashe.